All right, all right, all right. Top of the morning. How's everybody doing? Ah, morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice because I'm in it. Amen. 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 Give a little time for people to go ahead and chime on in. Amen. Them notifications sometimes can pop on a little late. I'll be like, you be waiting, you be sitting there waiting for the time to hit, and then about 7 minutes later, you realize, oops. Morning, morning, Star. Morning, Gwen. Mrs. Kim, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning, Miss Annette. All right, we almost in there. It is Friday. We just finished April. We about to run into May. Now, hey, listen, May's a long month. May is a long month. We will get through this, I promise you. But I think that also means we get paid like 3 times, depending on what we do. We also get paid like 3 times in May too, so that's a blessing. That was random. I don't know why. Morning, Coach White. Morning, Annie. All right. Well, let's jump on in. Welcome. This is Calvary Hawthorne's devotional channel. Discover, embrace, and become what God has called you to be. We also show you, hopefully, we out here doing that. We also that you are loved. And I just seen this. I hope there's no more homework for the weekend. Well, Miss Kim, we will see. We will get right into it. There's always indirect homework, but as far as physical homework, we will see what we're on. All right. We also are a devotional channel that brings you the hottest stories out the Bible, fresh off the press, day in and day out, and then we just teach you guys how to apply it to your life. Amen. Amen. Well, a little bit of recap. I know I don't like doing a lot, but honestly, because we're coming to the week and this is a very important day, as it is what's called a family's fallout. So there is drama today, and I do apologize because I don't like to go into the weekends and start my days off with drama, but we're here. And so, but I'll tell you how we got here. Monday, we talked about a mother's love. And again, I'm not going to go too much into it. Please just go back and watch the videos. But Monday, we talked about a mother's love and how there was 2 women or 2 mothers who were fighting over a baby, and how she had to pretty much step away and pretty much give up her child so her child can live. And as we talk about a mother's love, and as we're in the month of May, we're talking about purpose. We have to remember that sometimes we can't always assume what our purpose looks like. Right? Like if I'm a mother, I think my purpose to be a mother or a father is to be in my kid's life and to make sure I do the best for them and make sure I'm teaching them, training them, doing all this stuff. And so if that's the only thought process of what you view as a parent, then you're going to miss out on something totally different if God's trying to show you something else. Right. So like she had to give up her kid in order to show that she was truly the mother. And so God literally, and when you walk in principle, you don't need a miracle. You know, I say that all the time, and it's one of my favorite quotes by Bishop Jones. And it's like, another way to say it is, when you walk in principle, you don't need it necessarily. You won't need an extra prayer. And she didn't need an extra prayer because she was doing and she was walking according to the purpose that God had called her to walk in line with. And then God used King Solomon in order to realize that, no, she is the mother. give her baby back. All right, that walked us into Tuesday. Father's mercy. Men, I know we can be tough. I know we can be rough, but we still have to, and women too. But I know we just have to. We set the tone a lot of times, and we have to make sure that we still continue to show mercy. We put our pride aside. Sometimes if we got disrespected, we put that aside. Sometimes if things didn't go the way we thought they was going to go, we put that aside. Because I need to create an atmosphere to where if I fall out with anybody, they still know there's an open door for this relationship to be mended. Right. And so here you had the son who wanted to just take his belongings, take everything, run off and just be a kid. In essence, is how I look at it. And when he came back, he realized that, you know what? This ain't it. Let me go back. And the atmosphere that you set will determine, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but the atmosphere you set is an atmosphere that you'll be in. So it's that simple. And so when he came back, the father didn't say, told you so, knew you'd be back, nothing. He just act like it didn't happen. Welcome back, son. And just like we go back to God, and just like we reach out to God and we want God to always welcome us back with grace and mercy, we have to do the same with each other, and not just family. I know we're talking about family in this week, but just our neighbors and people we come into contact with. That walked us into Wednesday, where we're son's gift, and then son giving out the greatness of what he had. He had 2 fish and 5 loaves, and that was the greatness of what he had. And so God was showing us, and Jesus was telling us that bring it here, let me bless it, and then let's give it out. And so sometimes when you are filled up, when you're filled up, you give that to God, and then let him bless it. And now when you go out and operate in your purpose, and now when you go walk and you go to talk to these people that God has put you in line with, now you're able to fulfill your purpose and bless the multitudes of people that you come into contact with. And you're left with overflow. And I know we all want the overflow. I want the overflow. Give me everything I can get, right? But the challenge is with overflow, you don't get the overflow if you don't even give anything up. The kid had to give up what he had. And with purpose, don't worry about what it looks like. The disciples called it opposite. The disciples pretty much was like, this is all he has. To them, it was little. This is all he has, and so it flipped to where it's like, no, this is what I need. And so we have to remember, give God all you have. Once you filled up, it's not your job to hold on to it when you're full. You're full of joy, you're full of peace, you're full of blessings, you're just full. Give it to God. All right, Lord, what do you want me to do with it? Okay, cool. Bam. And then you go give it out. And the moment you give it out, now it's like people are blessed, people are blessed, people are blessed, people are blessed. And then before you know it, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. And now you got the overflow, right? Thursday, we talked about a sister's praise, and how this one was the tough one. And I'm only going to spend a little bit more time on this one pending, is just because I found out through one of my friends who actually I went back and watched the video that it was kind of choppy. And so yesterday you guys' service wasn't off. Apparently, I guess while I was doing the video, my internet was, I guess while I was recording, like our internet was going off or something like that. So I don't know. But the biggest point about yesterday is when you find yourself in situations that you didn't put yourself in, you have to set your atmosphere and you have to find praise. You don't get nothing else. Set your atmosphere, find praise. Leah did not put herself in that situation with Rachel. Jacob wanted Rachel. Jacob got tricked and had to get Leah and still wanted Rachel and did what he needed to do to get Rachel. So now in relationships, imagine being in a relationship that you're only in because the person got tricked. That's tough. Like, what do you do? And you're married. And it's like, I can't go anywhere, per se. So it's like when you find yourself in these situations and you find yourself in certain places where it's like, man, I don't even want to be here. I'm not even supposed to be here, man. Like, how did I end up here? Instead of asking all these questions that's going to overload you and weigh you down and weigh you down and weigh you down, it's like, no, go find praise. Because God has a reason why you're in that situation. Go find praise. And so obviously she had some sons, and it wasn't until she had Judah to where it was like, bam, She found praise in Judah. She found praise in Judah. This is the son. This is it. And then atmosphere change. And so it's always important to make sure that, like, I'm not saying that you can't be upset or frustrated or whatever it is about the situation. That's fine. Still find praise in it though, and as it relates to your purpose, you have to, because if I'm purposed to do something, I don't want to do it with a negative spirit. I don't want to do it with a negative attitude. Like, this is your purpose. God called you to go save that person from an accident or whatever it might be. Like, that's the purpose God had for you right now. You got to find joy in that. God put you in a situation where you had to take this job for for a year or two, but guess what? Because of the person you met there that you show grace, you show kindness, and you show mercy to, guess what? That relationship opened the door for you to go where you really need, where you got to get to. So find praise. But if you end up in those situations and you're not finding praise, then your blessing and your opportunity will walk right by you and you don't know it. And I know that hurts, but that's just what it is. So we have to find praise in everything we do. All right, cool. Got that out the way. Now that brings us to the day. The drama. We got a family fallout, y'all. The family's fallout. All right. So speaking of Rachel and Leah, they married this guy named Jacob. And so we're going to talk about Jacob's family. How you had Esau, you had Jacob, you had Isaac, and then you had Rebecca. And so you have a mother, a husband, you got a father, you got a wife, you got two brothers. Whoo, Jesus. Like, this is a fallout, right? And so here you have this family. And they're family. They're doing things day to day, and they're going about, they're just being a family. And here you have a situation where it's about to be a fallout just because of life stuff. Life happens. Esau is out trying to hunt, because that's what he does, and he doesn't find anything. Comes back, you have Jacob in the kitchen making up a stew, and Esau's so hungry, he's like, man, let me get it, what I got to do. And then so Jacob talks him into the birthright. Esau's like, if I'm dead, what do I need that for? And so Jacob, finding an opportunity in a sense, because everybody knows how Jacob was, Jacob finding an opportunity, so he gets the birthright from Esau. And so that's the dynamic between the two brothers. One is always out in the field, one's mainly in the house, one is cunning, and then the other is just whatever you want to call them, but like, that's their dynamic, right? And so now you have a husband and a wife, and Isaac and Rebecca, I don't know why I'm gonna say Rachel, but Isaac and Rebecca, and it's like, okay, cool. So Rebecca favored Jacob and Isaac favored Esau. And so now here you have, I guess they must have found, like, at least Rebecca must have found out about the situation of what happened, right? She found out about it. And so now she hears Isaac telling Esau, hey, go out, go hunt. And when you come back, guess what? I'll bless you. Cool. Rebecca hears this, tells Jacob, hey, you need to go out. You need to find me something to cook so I can cook this up so that your father Esau can bless you, because he's about to bless. Your father Isaac can bless you because he's about to bless Esau. And so obviously they concoct a story. They end up doing it. They make him feel and smell like Esau, and they go to Isaac. And obviously Isaac is feeling like this isn't him anyway. But he looks the part, smells the part, and obviously Isaac really can't see. He tells him to come here. He smells them, and it's just like, all right, well, be blessed in essence, right? And I'm not necessarily going to read it, but be blessed. And then all of a sudden, the moment he says be blessed, he walks off, gets his blessing, inheritance. And then all of a sudden, Esau comes through the door, and Esau is like, all right, father, here we go. You can bless me now. And Isaac is like, who are you? I did that already. So now he's asking, no, you can still have a word. You don't have a word for me. There has to be a word left. There has to be a word left. He's like, he spoke a word, but it was not what he wanted to hear. And so now you have Esau filled with rage, filled with anger. And now he's like, basically, I'm going to kill my brother. And so now Rebecca hears this, and Rebecca has to tell Jacob, Jacob, you got to get out of here. At least go. I'll send word for you. You'll go to my brother. Like you'll come back. You can come back. I'll send word for you to come back once your brother Esau cools down. Fallout. But why was the fallout? Well, kind of like we talked about this week, and I'll make it brief, but it's like, where's the love? There was no love anywhere. You know, there was somebody being conniving. There was somebody being deceitful. There was somebody, you know, like there was no love. No love. Where was the mercy? Where was some grace? Where's the fruit? Where's the gift? There's no gifts. There's no, like, you know, even if it was like, you know, Jacob could have been like, you know what, don't even worry about it. I know you were just talking. Like, how many times do we make deals with each other? Hey man, let me get that McDonald's, or let me get this, let me get that. I'll pay you back later. And the payback never happens. You know what I mean? Like, or let me borrow whatever, $100, $150, or let me borrow that. Let me borrow your toaster. Let me borrow, like, you know, the different things people used to borrow over time. And it's like, I'll give it back, and it never comes back for whatever reason. But no, Jacob was like, no, like, this is mine. He saw the value in it. But where's the gift? Where's the praise? Like, there is nothing. Things we talked about this week. It's kind of like, it was kind of like a little setup. But the things we talked about this week, there was nothing. Nothing. There was none of that stuff inside this story. You had was a bunch of you had a bunch of selfish people inside this story. And that's what it was. And so how do fallouts happen? Think about somebody you fell out with. It was being selfish. It was misunderstanding. It was miscommunication. It was unforgiveness. It was like, there's a lot of things that happen during fallouts to where it's like, man, if we can just have a conversation, if we can just show some love, if we can just show some grace, show some mercy, if I can just give a gift of forgiveness, if I can just, like, there are different things we can do so fallouts don't happen, but we don't do them because of X reason. Nah, man, I can't do that. He disrespected me. Nah, man, I can't do that. This happened. Nah, man, why? Right? God doesn't want fallout. He don't want fallout. Now granted, you know, this story goes deeper and deeper and deeper, obviously, because of who Jacob was and the word that was spoke. But at the end of the day, when we talk about ourselves and our own atmosphere and what we're trying to accomplish, we can't afford to fall out. We can't afford to fall out. How do we allow ourselves to fall out? And we're supposed to be bringing people to us. It's almost like we're doing the opposite. You pushing people away because of not being able to show love, grace, mercy, and all that stuff. You pushing people away, and it's like you're supposed to be bringing people to. We got to bring people to the church. We got to bring people in our lives, because this is just what God has called us to do. So it's a tough fallout. And then, you know, the part of the story that it's just kind of like, okay, now you got Esau. Now you got Esau sitting over here, and it's just like, man, now how does he feel? How does he recoup from that? How does he get over that? And you got Jacob now. He can't even come back home until this is all figured out. You know, now he's sent off to another city. And how many times are there fallouts between family members and friends? And it's like, you know what? They just stopped talking, or you know what? Somebody has to move, and then you like it's just crazy, right? And so my only challenge for us is just to make sure that we are holding relationships as we walk out of April. We're holding relationships. Family matters. You know, Pastor has this as a topic for the month for a reason, because we're trying to mend families. We're trying to bring families back to Christ. We're trying to push forward, and we can't do that if we don't start showing some love, some mercy, some grace, some forgiveness. If we don't find praise inside of ourselves, like if if we don't start doing these things, the fallout's going to stay. The fallout's going to happen. Like if we don't start doing these things, then it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Amen. So the challenge, again, no homework, you're free. But I might instruct somebody to give y'all some homework next week. But no, the challenge is always, and the indirect homework is always just to make sure you're being a blessing to somebody else. As long as you're loving your neighbor, you good with me as far as homework goes. Like, just make sure, like, you're gonna be in your day one time. Somebody gonna cross your path, and you're gonna want to do something or say something. If you remember me and you remember what your homework is, speak well of person, forgive person, turn the other cheek, then you have fulfilled a homework assignment. You know what I mean? So no, but all seriousness, like, this is just what we're called to do. And it's not easy. It's tough. But at the same time, because a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth from situations, you can be the reason why they get their taste buds back. And that's all I want people to do, is start getting their taste buds back for Christ, get their taste buds back for family. But it starts with you, and it starts with love. And that's why love was on Monday, because the first way we do this is we show love to people. Show love, show love, show love, show love. And then when you show love, then mercy is going to be able to follow. Grace is going to be able to follow. You're going to be able to forgive just a little bit easier. You're going to be able to put yourself in that person's shoes just a little bit quicker. And you're going to be able to, like, not be taking things personal a little bit easier. And after you do that, then you're going to be willing to give it again. You're going to be willing to give that gift a little bit more, because now you see the relationship over here starting to work and starting to make sense. And then you're going to look over here like, you know what, let me fix that relationship. Let me give my gift of love to that person. Let me give my gift of forgiveness. Let me give my gift over here. And then that's going to happen. And that's going to repeat a cycle. And then all of a sudden, you're going to find praise. You're going to find praise in the situations. Now you're going to be setting your atmosphere, and you're going to be like, yo, this is great. This is great. This is great. And you're going to just, it's just going to overwhelm you, and it's going to keep coming to you. It's going to keep coming to you. And then there's the overflow, because nobody can take that from you. Somebody's going to try and start being, no, they're not going to be able to take it from you. And then when you do all that, you prevent the fallout. That could have been a title today, prevent the fallout. You're going to prevent it, because you have been wrapped up in so much love. You've been wrapped up in so much grace. You've been wrapped up in so much mercy. You've been wrapped up in all of that, to where now fallout can't happen. My family's not falling apart from this. I'm not falling apart from losing my job. I'm not falling apart from losing that relationship. I'm not falling apart because of why? Because of everything I know I need to do. And I can preach all by itself, and I'll let it. So on that note, I love you guys. You guys go out there, have a great Friday, have a great Saturday, and I will see you Sunday. If you're not doing nothing, I'll see you guys at the 8:00 service, where I'll be preaching at the 8:00 service. So if you enjoy these devotionals and stuff like that, please share them, go back, let them be a blessing. That'd be your homework. Share this to somebody who you feel needs to hear this. And it's not like I told you so, like, listen to this. It's just like, no, like, be a blessing. And that's how we can start being a blessing, because sometimes people won't hear the words you say. They'll hear the words other people say. And so share it one time and see what happens. You guys have a good weekend. I will see you Sunday, or I will see you at the next appointed time. But you are loved, and please continue to discover, embrace, and become what God has called you to be. Amen.